Okay, I know that a number of you are getting ready for your next speech, and I wanted to deal with some of that right now. This is going to be your informational speech. This speech is worth 200 points. It's one of the big point speeches in this thing. So let's talk about some things you need to be aware of. First of all, in the syllabus, there are some things that many of you are omitting or not paying a great deal of attention to, and I want to reiterate them. Speech presentations. It says the speech must be recorded with sufficient lighting. For many of you, I cannot see your face when you do the speech. In part, it's the lighting, but the other part of it is it's not this shot. I can't see you when you shoot, and you're all the way across the room. All right. The other thing is that it must be recorded with sufficient audio volume. When the microphone is on the recorder or the camera, and you're on the other side of the room, not only can I not see you, but it is difficult to hear you. All right. Number 3, it must be recorded while attached to a tripod. Most of you are doing pretty well on that one, but when the camera shot is moving all around like this and zooming in and out and stuff, your camera operator's hands on the camera making a lot of noise. It's not on a tripod. It's not a steady shot, and that is a problem. And the final one, number 4, properly framed shot when speaking. This is the properly framed shot. Okay? Now, don't forget about the audience and how they're introduced. They need to be this same size. They need to look at the camera. And it's a good idea, somebody suggested, just have them give their name. Keith Klein. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, leave. Okay. Now, another thing is that it says in the syllabus that the instructors have the right of a refusal for a speech submission with poor audio, video quality. Without sufficient audio-video quality, evaluating speaking skills is extremely difficult, if not impossible. In order to avoid these and other common problems, be sure to review the guidelines for recording speeches. Now, let me talk about something else that needs to be brought up here, and that has to do with your things that haven't happened yet. The following people, fantasy name: Bomber, Apollo, Car, Blue, and Green. You have not submitted a photo ID, a legal ID that I can verify you are the actual person enrolled in the class and the speaker in the video. I said last time I will no longer accept speeches from anyone who has not given me that ID. That is effective. If Bomber, Apollo, Car, Blue, Boxer, and Green, I don't think I mentioned Boxer before, Bomber, Apollo, Car, Blue, Boxer, and Green, do not send me a photo ID, a legal ID. Usually it's a driver's license. It can be your Ivy Tech photo ID. If you do not do that, I will not accept any speech submissions. If your speech admission is not accepted, then guess what? You cannot actually pass this class because all speeches have to be submitted. All right, so keep that in mind. Also, a couple of you are doing discussion boards, but you're not doing all of the discussion boards. There are 2 each week, and you must also specifically answer everything it says to answer. Last time around, people did not get full points because they didn't answer in detail as required. So make sure you do that. All right, we're now into the 4th exam. Some people have not taken all 4 exams. That's okay because you still have until Sunday at midnight to do the 4th one, but the first 3 some of you have missed. Failure to submit all speeches will certainly mean you fail this class, and I'm looking at the grades right now. The highest grade in the class at the moment, points-wise, is 249. There's a 245, 247. If you're in the 220 above area, you should do well in this class if you continue on the same path. However, remember those things that I just told you about. They are fatal errors if you do not take care of what I said. Now, you in your informative speech, it's 200 points. It's 5 to 8 minutes in length. That means it must go at least 4 minutes and 45 seconds. and no longer than 8 minutes and 15 seconds, and that is after you start speaking. I don't time from the moment that you start to turn on the camera and introduce the audience. They all have to be seated. That's all over with when you start your speech. Your delivery method is there. I need an outline and speaking notes for this thing. There's stuff that tells you what you need to do. You need perhaps to think in terms of strategic order for this speech. That's also outlined in what you're supposed to do. You need at least one visual aid. Mostly, I can't see the visual aid that you're doing. Send me a copy through email. You can do it as an attachment. Send me a copy of your visual aid. You must have 3 sources. 3, not 2, not 1, 3 sources, and the sources must be identified in the speech. This is not a composition class where you give me 3 sources on your outline. I must know in the speech. So, for instance, if you were to say 10 people a day are killed in traffic accidents in Indiana and keep on going, I would be screaming at my monitor, where did you get that? How do you know that? Says who? That is obviously something that screams for a source. So what it needs to be dealt with in your speech is, according to the Indiana State Police, according to AAA, 10 people are killed each day in traffic accidents in Indiana. That is how you source in the speech. All right, and everything else is kind of outlined there for what you need to do. Also, the rubric this time covers things like the introduction. Did you gain attention? Did you introduce the topic clearly? Did you establish credibility? We keep harping on that. Why are you giving this speech? What do you know about it? Are your main points clear? Main points fully supported? Sources cited clearly? Sources written in the outline text? Not only do you have to cite them in the speech, you have to have them in your outline text. Correct number of sources cited. Organization well planned. Outline written in full sentences. Outline formatted properly. Outline labeled properly. Connectives effective. How do you get from one point to another point in your speech? Do you just stop and then all of a sudden start a new thought? You've got to do transitions and connectives in that thing. Language appropriate and clear. Conclusion. Prepare the audience for the ending. Reinforce the central idea. Summarize the main points. Vivid ending. Did you just die? Some of you just kind of go. That's how it ends. And boy, it's like, wow, you had a nice speech, but you just died at the end. Your speech needs to be begun without rushing. Maintain strong eye contact. That means looking at the camera. And if it's not this shot, I can't tell if you're looking anyhow. If there's not enough light on you, I can't tell. Vocal variety. Remember, pitch, pace, tone, volume, silence. Vocal variety. Avoided distracting mannerisms. Use pauses effectively. Articulated words clearly. Presented visual aids well. Visual aid appropriate to your speech. Natural and conversational delivery. Effective gestures and movement. Communicated enthusiasm. If you're just up there talking about like this, then guess what? It's not going to convey very much enthusiasm. You got to get a little enthusiasm, what you're talking about. Overall evaluation. You met the assignment. Topic was appropriate. Topic useful and interesting. Held the interest of the audience. You met the audience requirement. As I outlined, all 4 of your audience members pass in front of the camera, give their name, pause for 5 seconds, and then move out. All right? What else is there here? Speech completed within the time limit. Assignment submitted on time. And that means by Monday, which is the 11th of July at noon. It must be submitted by then. Speech completed within the time, submitted on time. All right, outline. Speaking outline, overall quality. Preparation outline, overall quality. And bibliography of works cited list. That is important. Now, another thing, and I hope you saw this is also when your public speaker critique is due. That is worth 40 points. And that is to evaluate a speaker in a live, not recorded, mediated public setting. And it tells you some of the things you can do. You locate a public speaking presentation in which you are able to view or listen to a public speaker. Do not view anyone on television or on the internet. You must be physically present so as to experience the live public speaking performance. The speaker must speak for a minimum of 15 minutes. Analyze, evaluate, and critique the speaker and their presentation, applying the public speaking principles you've read about in the text and or experienced in your own speeches. All right, you're going to judge by things like delivery and content. You're going to talk about conclusion. I'll give you a hint. A lot of people in this class wait till the last minute, and guess what? They end up critiquing their minister. They go to church on Sunday. All right, not always the best, but if that's all you have, then that's what you need to do. Okay, now I hope all of this is fairly clear. As always, if you have any questions, call me in my office. Lots of deadlines. Things are going to start to happen very fast in this class. Your next speech is a 300-point speech. That's where the points add up very quickly. If you want to play around with the grade grid I sent out to you, the Excel spreadsheet, you can put in what you think the number will be, and it'll show you the final number at the other end. Play around with that a little bit. It's all added up with the formulas that are there, and you can see how you might do in this class. Again, if you have any questions, give me a shout, and we'll talk to you again soon. Have a great, great weekend, and good luck on your informative speech.